Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, classic, non-classic. This is episode number 1195 and Doubleshot number 1089. Getting pretty close to my 1200 review for this series. Alright, so we got two brand new trades. Well, one is one that came out very recently. This one came out, I think it was about 3 years ago. I think it was, at least about 3 years ago. We have Doctor Strange, Volume 3, Blood in the Aether. This collects issues of Doctor Strange, Volume 4, issues 11 to 16. This is still part of Jason Aaron's run for the book, and this is actually the Pendulum trade that collects issues for his run. Now, this book has a return of several characters that have been seen in quite some time in Marvel Comics. One, at the time this book's release, had not been seen in 3 years. The other two, one was basically just retconned, resurrected, despite the fact last time anybody saw this guy, he was dead. The other one, I don't think he's been seen for quite a while. I'll discuss those. So first we deal with the aftermath of the previous arc of the series, Last Days of Magic, where they finally defeat the creatures, the M-Plate, I think it's pronounced the name of the creatures, who are pretty much unlimited magic. Now, there's still a little magic left, not much of it. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, so not much of the magic left, but they're trying to basically rebuild from the ground up. And of course, Doctor Strange himself, basically, while trying to build magic, runs into few people. One of the people happens to be the beautiful Santana. Yep. One of her very rare appearances in Marvel Comics. I think the last time prior to this she was seen, because she was seen in the series Strike Force just recently. I'm thinking like the last time she was seen I could think of. Whew, I think the last time she was seen was in the miniseries Howling Commandos. That was the last time I can think of she's been seen. Yeah, that was the last time I could think of, so it's been quite a while for Santana. We also see the return of Baron Mordo. Yep, a guy who actually was killed during Rick Remender's run for Kenny Avengers. How did he die? Well, he was found with an axe's chest. An axe belonging to Thor. Yeah, it's an item that Jason Aaron created. And apparently Jason Aaron's like, yeah, I created the weapon, so I'm just going to resurrect Baron Mordo with no explanation at all. Yeah, he was killed back in 2012. Actually, it's more like 2013. He had not been seen for about 3 years. As for how in the world he came back, never explained. He just happened to be back. And we also see the return of Dormammu. Like, oh boy, it had been a long time since he was seen in Marvel Comics. I think the last time he was seen was back during Brian Michael Bendis' run for New Avengers. So, for him, it had been almost 10 years since he was last seen. Like, wow. Okay. And then after basically Doctor Strange battles both Dormammu, who's in the real war, by the way, not in a dark dimension, which they don't really explain, like somehow he got in because of the magic there. And then he runs into another character, a character Jason Aaron just loves this character. Oh my gosh. It was so shocking when I originally read this a few years ago. Yes, he brings back the Orb. Yep, a character who at this point had not been seen since Original Sin. He had not been seen in 2 years. Yes, and unknown if he still, it's never stated if he still has one of the Watcher's eyes. He says, I want to watch. Yeah, and he basically is driving around with a taxi cab for some reason, running a building. It's just pure fun, this book. And they set basically stuff with Mr. Misery. Yeah. Oh yeah, he does upset the Watcher's eye. I'm not going to show it because it's absolutely disgusting. Like, the thing is, so for 2 years, he has kept the Watcher's eye and he's never got rid of it. Yeah, in case you're wondering where he got the Watcher's eye from, yeah, it's actually explained in the miniseries, well, Original Sin, done by Jason Aaron. He apparently kept the eye at the other, this is probably the same eye used to basically detonate the truth bomb, which was used to unlock people's memories about certain things, which basically allow all the tie-ins for Original Sin. As for what he's been up to for 2 years, No idea. Also, apparently, the eye is sort of almost merged with his chest, which I'm not going to show the image because it's kind of disgusting. Yeah, but great book, and can't wait for the next book, which is the finale for this run, which I'll be discussing. When I discuss Volume 4, I'm going to discuss the final issue, and how the weird publication schedule for this one was, and how this issue and the first issue of the next one were released out of order. I'll be discussing that. But this book I give roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic book. Also, the artwork is done by Chris Bachalo, who doesn't do the first issue collecting this trade. Nope. Chris Bachalo does not do the first issue. He does issues basically 12 to 16. The artwork for issue 11 is by Kevin Nolan, who actually is the cover for the issue, and Leonardo Romero. Yes. The cover art for the reading trades is mostly done by Chris Bachalo, Tim Townsend, issues 12, 14. 13, 14, 15, 16, done by Kevin Nolan. Yeah. Great book. Alright, next up it is Venom, Volume 4, Venom Island. Collecting Venom, Volume 4, issues 21 and 25. Written by Danny Curtis, artwork by Mark Bagley. We also have a backup story in issue 25 by Dave Michelinie, one of the co-creators of Venom. Yeah, he created Venom with Todd McFarlane. Yep. Yeah, there's also, I think, now, the second story, we also have Ryan Stegman in the artwork too. Yeah, there's like a bunch of artists on here. Yep. Now, this is basically kind of like a mini arc, basically kind of like an event story dealing with Venom. Now, this comes right after the events of basically dealing with War of the Realms and Absolute Carnage. Yep, after 2 straight crossovers, we actually have a storyline basically dealing with what happens next. Yes, Venom ends up on an island. Now, Dylan does know that Eddie Brock is his father. There's no mention if he actually talked about his mother or not, Anna Wong, which I will not spoil basically because she actually just came back recently. I won't explain that more until I get the next trade. And so he's on an island of this whole storyline, and this is mostly built up to basically, well, when Krull finally shows up to Earth. Because at one point in the book, he's offered at first to join the Avengers. Yes, Venom, Eddie Brock, is offered to join the Avengers. Despite the fact that symbiote has technically been part of the Avengers when Rick Remender wrote the Secret Avengers. So Venom is technically an Avenger. Though it's the Flash Thompson Venom, mind you. Yes, that particular Venom. Not Eddie Brock, the original one. So, he doesn't exactly accept the offer, but he thinks about it. And then later on, during like one point, like, oh, we jump ahead months in the future. He even thinks it's been like 3 weeks. No, it's been months. And apparently, they were trying to take custody away from him because his living conditions were terrible. But it turns out it was actually nothing more than a big fat lie. Yeah, also apparently deals with the return of Cletus Cassidy, despite the fact the guy's supposed to be dead. Yeah, I believe that Eddie Brock stabbed him at the end of Absolute Carnage. It's a play came back with just a dream. But mostly this is all set on one island, this whole storyline, but it's a really good story. The backup story, just a flashback for Eddie Brock when he was, let's say, well, during a time when he was basically when he was on a different island. Yep. When he was on a different island. Yeah. And aside from the fact we apparently returned of the Carnage symbiote, we also have Ra appearing here. Yes. Ra, not Rot. We have yeah, it's the symbiote who's another spawn of the Venom symbiote, who also has some of Eddie Brock's DNA in it. Who's also kind of behind by Eddie Brock's son. But I think even Danny Coles probably realized this whole creature. Yeah, this is from the creature who debuted in the first host storyline, which after a while the host started possessing the host. The symbiote possessing the host because he actually died. So yeah, and then the symbiote passed on to a cat. And at one point you had the symbiote possessing a dinosaur, which that was pure fun. in and of itself, but this was a pretty dang good book. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Now, in case you're wondering where I got these two books, did I purchase these from Amazon? Nope, I went to an actual comic shop this past weekend. On Sunday. Yep, there was a comic shop in my area. Basically, it was offering a customer appreciation weekend. I got these two trades, plus the next trade. One of the next trades I'm going to do one of my next reviews for this series, where I got these three trades for 20% off. And according to my receipt I got, yeah, apparently I paid $4 less than with the actual price of this thing. Like for Doctor Strange, this is $19.99. I got this for $15.99. This one, $17.99. Got this for $13.99. Yeah, I got these for $4 off. So, yeah, great stuff when it comes to these books. And in case you're wondering, yeah, this is the most recent release for Venom, and I was so happy to get my hands on it. This book right here, I believe this one came out about 3 years ago. Let me think. I think it was about 3 years ago this came out. Yeah, because they had another run recently out there by Mark Waid. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Yeah, and believe it, they actually just ended Doctor Strange recently, after he's been having a comic book now for the past, I think it's been about 5 years he's had a comic book, and now it ended after 6 issues. This made no sense at all. Why would you end such a fantastic book like Doctor Strange? Especially as the book had a pretty good ride with the Mark Waid. Maybe people would then take lightly to it due to the fact that during his run, he had a restart after 13 issues. I think the reason why people stopped buying the book because people hated the fact the book was relaunched, even though it had just been previously relaunched a year prior. Yep. Apparently Wade thought this was a good idea, so at least someone did. I'll discuss that more when I discuss Mark Waid's run. But yeah, when the case Doctor Strange, I'm getting pretty close to wrapping up Jason Aaron's run for the book. I've got one more trade left, and we'll be discussing that when I get my hands on the trade. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review tomorrow will be a review for One Punch Man. Well, probably about 1 or 2 videos discussing the OVAs, though they're dubbed. They're actually not dubbed, they're subbed. And maybe a Comic Corner? Who knows? Okay, see you next video. Bye.